So you're coming to Boston for the 4th of July weekend. What better spot to celebrate American independence than the birthplace of the American Revolution? You're in luck because there's a ton to do here. Keep watching for more info. But first, check out our Etsy store linked in the description for Boston gifts and apparel. First on the list for a 4th of July experience has to be attending Boston Harborfest, which is an event that could really fill your entire 4th of July weekend in Boston. Harborfest is Boston's gala celebration of American independence and has so much going for it. Perhaps the most iconic 4th of July event in Boston that's a part of Harborfest is the Boston Pops July 4th Spectacular. The concert, featuring the Boston Pops Orchestra, features a mix of patriotic music, popular American-themed songs, and classical pieces, often accompanied by live cannon fire. The concert is followed by a fireworks display in which the order of fireworks are coordinated with music from the Boston Pops. The event takes place at the Hatch Memorial Shell on the beautiful Charles River Esplanade. As the name implies, this event takes place right on the Charles River. Good news, the event is free and open to the public. Bad news, you usually do need to get here really early if you want to get a stellar spot and then camp out all day. The fireworks are launched from the Charles River, so you can actually see them from a ton of spots around Boston and Cambridge, although you will need to camp out all day to get close to the actual concert. It can get hot here in July, even though it's New England, so bring water and a sunscreen if you're planning to camp out all day. There are parking garages a half mile to a mile or so from the Hatch Memorial Shell if you do want to fight traffic and pay for parking. Since you'll be walking anyways, it might be easier to take the T, the nickname for Boston's public transit, to the Charles MGH stop on the Red Line or the Arlington stop of the Green Line and just walk the remaining distance. It's about half a mile to each T stop. Another really cool event on the 4th of July in Boston is the annual USS Constitution Turnaround Sail. During this event, the USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, will transit to Castle Island from its normal spot in Charlestown and fire a 21-gun salute at exactly noon on the 4th of July. You can watch the historic ship sail from any vantage point along the Boston Harbor, whether that's off a pier in downtown Boston or across the harbor in East Boston. If you do want to be closer to the 21-gun salute when it happens, you can head over to Castle Island, which is a great summer spot for Bostonians on its own. To be honest, even without the USS Constitution sailing by, Castle Island is well worth your while, and there's food out there at Sullivan's Castle Island, and there's an old fort that you can explore while you wait for the USS Constitution to arrive. You can actually enter a lottery for a chance to ride on the USS Constitution during this event. The lottery is typically open during the month of April, and you can monitor the Navy's website for more information on how to apply. Don't be like me and wait until May to try and submit your name. They don't allow late entries. Up next, is there a better way to start your Independence Day than listening to someone read the Declaration of Independence? This tradition goes all the way back to when the Declaration of Independence was first read to the masses in Boston by Colonel Thomas Crafts on July 18, 1776. At 10 a.m. on July 4th, a speaker comes out on the balcony of the old State House and reads the Declaration of Independence to a crowd of onlookers showing and wearing their patriotism on Independence Day. If you want to get your day started even earlier than 10 a.m., there is a parade from City Hall at 9 a.m., which is right around the corner from the old State House, to the Granary Burying Ground, where wreaths are laid at the graves of some famous American patriots to include John Hancock, Sam Adams, Paul Revere, Peter Faneuil, who Faneuil Hall is named after, and the victims of the Boston Massacre. Getting to this part of the city is quite easy if you're taking public transit. If you're coming on the Green Line, you'll want to get off at the Government Center T Station. If you're taking the Orange Line or Blue Line, get off the subway at the State T Station. If you're on the Red Line, get off the train at the Downtown Crossing T Station or connect to the Orange Line at Downtown Crossing if you don't want to walk a few more blocks. While the precise day around the 4th of July weekend may vary, if you're in Boston for more than just the 4th of July, you can also check out Chowderfest. Chowderfest is a get-together where you can sample delicious chowders from the best local Boston restaurants while voting for your favorite chowder along the way. And look, you get to sample as much as you can. The best news is that this chowder is free to all while supplies last, of course, and there's also live entertainment during the event. Chowderfest takes place at Downtown Crossing. Take the Orange Line or Red Line to the Downtown Crossing T Station, the Green Line to the Park Street T Station, where you can connect to the Red Line or walk a few blocks, or the Blue Line to State, where you can connect to the Orange Line or walk a few blocks. Right next to Chowderfest in Downtown Crossing is the Downtown Boston Beer Garden, which is open every every day during Harborfest. Hop in here to cool off with a cold beverage. There are also other beer gardens not associated with Harborfest that you can check out in the downtown area. There's a Trillium Beer Garden on the Greenway, a Night Shift Beer Garden on the Charles River Esplanade, and a Democracy and Distraction Brewing Beer Garden across from City Hall. All of these options are an easy way to kill a few minutes or hours between 4th of July activities, and there are usually food trucks or stands at each location in case you get hungry. Completely separate from Harborfest, if you want a super American experience on 4th of July weekend, check out a Red Sox game at Fenway Park and have yourself a Fenway Frank while you're there. Baseball is considered America's pastime, and Fenway Park is the oldest active park in Major League Baseball. Going to a game here is a true American tradition. It's like stepping back in sports history and therefore American history while you're here. Depending on where you sit, you might actually end up in seats that are still made of wood. Look for grandstand seats if you want this experience. They're kind of uncomfortable, but they do set the tone for the experience, and they do tend to be cheaper than newer seats. Singing along to Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning is an absolute blast. Maybe Neil Diamond will make an appearance for your game, or some other celebrity to lead the crowd in the singing of the song. Check out a So Good, So Good, So Good t-shirt in our Etsy store linked in the description for the full experience. Even if the Red Sox are out of town while you're in Boston, a tour of Fenway Park is still well worth your time. Tours run all day and give you behind the scenes access to the park. You'll be able to view it from angles that you wouldn't normally have access to during a game, including the press box where the reporters usually sit for every game. To get to Fenway Park, if you're coming from City Center, take the green line of the T to Kenmore Station, not the Fenway Station, which is confusing to out-of-towners. It's actually funny, on every train from City Center to Fenway Park, people will look around and say, wait, we get off at the Kenmore stop, not the Fenway stop, but that's how it works. Kenmore is closer if you're coming from downtown, but if you're coming from the west of the city, for whatever reason, the Fenway Station of the Green Line is indeed the stop that you want to get off at. You can also get to Fenway at the Lansdowne Station of the commuter rail if you're coming from further outside the city of Boston. I don't recommend trying to park in the area when it's close to first pitch. Take advantage of the public transportation that's going to be cheaper in addition to easier. If you get hungry while you're walking around downtown Boston on the 4th of July, I know that we all like burgers and fries and hot dogs. Those are great options, but maybe you want pizza by the slice. I would highly recommend that you head over to the North End, Boston's Little Italy, and get a slice of pizza from Ernesto's, or get a small personal pizza from Regina's. There's a lot of debate about which one of these famous pizza places is better. I think that they're both fantastic, but both offer great pizza that you will definitely enjoy. It's a great way to celebrate Independence Day. So this concludes my overview of what you can do in Boston if you're visiting over the 4th of July. Please let me know in the comments if I missed any important things that someone could do in the city for Independence Day. Please like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to see more videos about Boston. I started making these videos because I really wanted to share my love for the city and make your travel experience here easier, or your move to Boston easier. So just a little comment about what we could do better to help me better achieve those goals would mean a lot to me. I do really value feedback in any form. So just let us know in the comments. Thank you.